Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. We have back for an encore appearance Gregory Ballan. Gregory is a sci-fi author, and his latest book is Armageddon's Son. You designed the cover, right?
No? I wish. My publisher has Laura Givens as a cover artist, and she does all the designs for my books.
Now, the first one you had on with us was, which one was that? The first one I had was Lost Sons, and Okay.
that was a different series.
Okay.
Then the second time I was here, it was the first and second hybrid.
Yeah.
Hybrid, then Hybrid Force Vengeance.
Did it start with P. Penta? Was that the one? No, I don't think that was
So
it.
this one now is the third in the hybrid series.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth one will be out. I just think when I wrote this book, I wrote the third and the fourth book at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you ever read any George R.R. Martin novels, but his novels are massive.
George Martin. He's
Yeah,
sci-fi.
thousands of pages. You know, the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And
Do you like him better than Asimov?
I like Asimov. I think he's easier to follow.
Yeah.
Some of Martin's writing, it's really he can. Not like I'm criticizing a best-selling author, which is not really, but just like for me, he can get bogged down in a lot of the detail, like in the Game of Thrones novels. I would find myself skipping through some of the. Tyrion was the best character. I would always jump forward to read what Tyrion was doing.
Who was Tyrion? I had not.
He was the little guy. You watched the
dwarf.
The
Okay.
dwarf, yeah.
Okay.
And Peter Dinklage does a great job playing him in this series. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
But just some of the descriptions and some of the narrative is just, I thought, a little, for my taste, a little drawn out. And luckily I'm not the only one who feels that.
Sure.
But again, he's selling millions of books. I'm not, so he's doing something right.
But you get right to the point. I mean,
yeah, it's just you got to find, everybody's got a different voice.
Yeah.
And I like just boom, get it out there and tell the story.
This is part one, hybrid, the Ethereal War.
Yeah, the Ethereal War was. It's funny because it started out, the Ethereal was going to be one book.
Yeah.
And I wanted to write a big book like Game of Thrones. I'm going to write a big 1,000-page book.
You're going to write a big
That's
one.
what I was going to do. And I was still under contract with Lachesis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling my publisher about, I'm going to write it. Well, you realize, we only have a certain amount of word count.
Yeah.
And the economics, the more words you have,
Mm-hmm.
the more expensive it is to set up a galley, the more expensive it is to price the book, and then your pricing point is higher and it doesn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Now what do I do?
Would you say, Greg, that this appeals to, let's say, from young adults on upward?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because what I've tried to do, it's science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but it really is, the whole hybrid series is more of a mystery, a detective series. The main character is a detective. Yes, he's partial alien,
Yeah.
but every book starts off, there's a case,
Mm-hmm.
hybrid and missing persons, Force Vengeance, an attempt on the president's daughter, an abduction. This happens to be a rather gruesome murder that takes place in Vatican City.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens to be Eric Knight's mentor.
Well, yeah, it says prologue is Vatican City,
Yeah.
Rome, St. Martha's Chapel. That's where it
Yeah.
all begins.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
So-
gruesome, right? A little bit.
Well, yeah, it's not. Yeah, there are a couple of scenes in it that are a little descriptive, but there's nothing R-rated in these books. I will not make that leap. I'll go as far as PG-13. There's some descriptive of, to get you a picture of what the enemy is, what the entity is that's doing the bad things.
Sure.
But this book is it's much more powerful in the mystery sense, where the first part of it is digging into the mystery. What is it? What's going on? It starts out, we're just trying to solve a mystery. And I'm mixing detective work I'm mixing politics, I'm mixing theology with demons, vampires, aliens, ghouls, and the supernatural.
Where do you get all these ideas? You've always been this way, right?
It's God's honest truth. The craziest ideas I get in the shower.
Okay.
You're in the shower.
Do you have somewhere where you could write it down without getting wet?
Well, it's funny because I used to keep, and I still do, it's a black leather bound book.
Yeah.
And when I get the weird ideas, I'll write it down.
Sure.
Because you should think I'll remember it.
Yeah.
And you never remember it.
How about in the car or when you wake up in the morning or trying to get to sleep at night?
Well, I'll use the sound function on my cell phone. Hit the speaker. I have this great idea.
Yeah.
Instead of this, have him walk through and have the corridors bend a certain way.
Yeah.
And Google how corridors bend in architecture when you get to work. Then at my lunch, all right, Google this.
Yeah.
Because there's one scene in this book where they're walking under Vatican City.
Yeah.
And as they're walking, the chambers keep moving and keep curving, so they're continually walking in an inner circle, but they don't really, it seems like they're walking straight.
Wow.
And there's a whole section of how that actually happens. No lighting, the way the overhead beams are. And so there's a lot of research into things, but the first part of this book is more solving the mystery.
Well, it says, for friendship's sake, Chapter 1, Milford, Mass.
Yeah.
So now what's that like? How does that start off?
Oh, it's been 2 years since Forced Vengeance ended, and when Forced Vengeance ended, Eric kind of sells out the CIA. He's just, his own need to get back at people. He gives a reporter some information he really shouldn't have given them, and that the CIA kind of blacklists him and isolates him and kind of makes his life a little difficult. So he's working at a gym, and he's trying to pay his bills.
Yeah.
Support his wife and his kid, and it's just making it difficult. And so he's happy he's not doing all the crazy things because he's kind of settling down, but he hasn't had contact with anybody from the government in a couple years. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Martin Denton shows up.
So it's getting back on the horse.
Yeah. So it's like, there's a case. I need you to help me with this case, and it happens to be a murder in Vatican City. And I was like, no, I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah, Chapter 3, Holy Secrets.
Yeah, and what it is a lot of it explores the detective's own, I don't want to say religious bigotry, but his own, I have my own issues. And I go into the book, And that was one of the things that I got some emails back from some people that were really, really religious. They're like, man, why are you picking at that scab? And I'm like, well, I'm not really picking. I'm using something that actually happened as the backdrop for a character,
right,
for his motivation not to want to deal with something. But if you go and read the actual stuff in the book, in no way am I taking a shot. I mean, I go to a Catholic church in Hopedale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Father Bill Konecki is one of the best guys I ever known. He's an amazing man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to sit there and take cheap shots at an institution.
Sure.
But I use something that actually happened back in 2001 as the framework for someone's reluctance to get involved in an institution. I mean, if you're a half person and half alien, are you really going to want to go help the church that denies your existence?
Yeah.
So
and it's a prelude to a holy war.
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., Columbia Heights. Here it comes.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, as he gets involved with trying to solve this mystery, they realize that the Vatican is hiding something. Mm-hmm. There's always an and then the trail leads back, of course, to Washington, D.C., where all the corruption is, and they're trying to find out, who killed his son and the other two clerics that were there, what was stolen, and and the more they peel back the onion, the deeper and deeper the mystery gets, and he finds out there are things that are in the universe that are more amazing and even bigger than he ever imagined, even bigger than him.
Right.
And even as powerful and as formidable as Eric Knight is, there are things in the universe that are even more powerful.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Earth is just a little tiny, insignificant dot in this whole massive scheme of intrigue that's going on.
Moloch.
Moloch, yes.
What's that?
Moloch he's just a really, really bad demon.
Yeah.
And he is the engineer of all that goes bad.
Everything.
He's behind everything. He's like the evil Snidely Whiplash. He's the one that controls all the pieces on the chessboard.
And he's in the Vatican, right?
No, he is. He's actually trying to overthrow. In the book, he's trying to overthrow Lucifer. His whole goal is, I got a bum deal. I can run hell better than the devil can.
Yeah.
If I'm in charge of hell, we're taking the earth over. We're expanding. There's other plans. We're going big.
Yeah.
They're playing by these rules. Lucifer's getting soft. He's happy just pinching a soldier, and he goes, I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking big scale.
Yeah.
I want the entire planet. I want everything.
Okay, the price of betrayal. What's that? What happened there?
Well, that's where you're realizing that your own government is playing some games too.
Yeah.
And the detectives, start realizing, well, you know what? The Vatican's involved in this big war. The government's involved in this war. The government's playing on both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's good and there's evil in everything, and in the book, it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's just a massive, not only played on this world, but on every intelligent world.
We don't want to give away the ending
Yeah.
either. We're talking with Greg Ballan, and he is a sci-fi author. He's local, and this is his next book, Armageddon's Son. How can they get a hold of your copy? You've got a website?
Amazon. Just go to Amazon and Google my name at Amazon, and all of the books, the Lost Sun series, the Hybrid series, will all show up. They're all available to purchase there. And also visit Hydrosaur Press, Hydrosaur Productions online. And there's other fantastic books there by other amazing authors as well,
Now,
not just me.
We're talking about Greg himself. I love it when they put about the author in the back. I love that. You are a graduate of Northeastern. You have a bachelor's degree in marketing and management, several outdoor activities, hiking, archery, shooting, MMA. What is an MMA?
Mixed martial arts.
Okay. Fighter, but realized after 50, getting punched hurts a lot. You discovered the safer hobby, learning the acoustic guitar, and when he's not working his full-time job as a financial analyst or exploring some unknown woodlands, he's crunched over his laptop, putting his warped imagination into words or penning a column about the outdoors or his latest misadventure, avoiding house and yard work. What is it with you? You don't want to help around the house?
Well, you know what it is? When you don't have a lot of free time,
Yeah.
and you, like I said, I work 7 days a week, and I fully admit I am the eternal procrastinator. I'm the neighbor that the grass is always the longest. It's never mowed.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that there's more weeds than there is lawn.
Yeah.
Sometimes my hedges are always trimmed last.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's other things that you'd rather do.
I hear it.
And when you don't have a lot of spare time, how was your weekend? Well, I worked Saturday for 9 hours. I worked Sunday, and then I went home. Man, I mowed the lawn.
But what are you doing when you're working? Are you writing?
Oh yeah,
You're just writing?
In between patrols, I'll write.
In between.
Yeah. So on Saturday and Sunday, I'll do my patrols, and then I'll sit down at the desk and check around, and then I have the laptop, and I'll try and get a chapter out, do some research, or it's really good for editing because it's quiet in the mill.
What do you mean by patrols?
It's a security job at the Draper Mill.
That's why it was flashing me something about the Draper, and it was you who told me you were there.
Yeah.
You do the night. Is it the night one?
I do Wednesday night and Saturday and Sunday.
All night.
Well, I do until 11:30.
You ought to get the paranormal teams over there. Wouldn't that be something? It doesn't work anymore, right? I mean, it's not in.
No, it's completely abandoned.
There's got I mean, if there's some pretty good shows on TV. And if you got one of those teams over there, I mean, could you? Sure, you could deal with it. You're sci-fi.
Well, it's funny. I in the second book coming up, You can't use the name Draper,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
but Molech Stronghold is in a mill.
Yeah.
Similar to I used where's the last place you'd expect the devil to run? Out of an abandoned mill in plain sight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where his whole headquarters is set up.
So that's the next book.
That's the next book.
What's going to be the title?
That's going to be called Battle Lines.
Battle Lines.
Yeah, and it's just part 2 of this book.
So you can get a copy of Armageddon's Son downstairs at the Upton Library. And again, also, how can they get a hold of it?
At Amazon.com. Just go in and Google my name under books, and all the books that I've written are there.
Greg Ballan, Ballan, Armageddon's Son. You didn't do the cover?
No, Laura Givens
Okay.
is the cover designer.
All
I mean,
right.
we go back and forth what I envision the cover to be and what I look for, and that's actually part of a scene out of the book.
Yeah, yeah.
So she'll take the scene and she'll start designing an idea, a concept, and then you go back and forth. All right, change this. It took about 4 or 5 iterations to get that.
Where have you been appearing lately? I know you've got a family issue coming up with medical,
Yeah.
but where have you been appearing?
Honestly, at this point, nowhere. I'm trying to get into some bookstores, some comic book stores, but like we talked about the bookstores, it's just
It depends on where you go.
It depends on where you go, and I've been really, really involved with with working and stuff like that. Now, the summer's here, now I've got to lighten up my schedule. And I've got to make the time to make this work because I'm committed, to my new publisher to make this successful.
Well, so also they have the expos around, the authors expos, and I send my authors to those. I was just talking about one in Rhode Island. There was over 300 authors. You walk in, it was like one right after the other. And I tell an author, I said, you know what, don't worry if you maybe only sell 1 or 2 or you don't sell any that particular time. You're new, okay, but have someone with you so that you can get up and walk around, grab those business cards, talk with the other authors. Some of them might have a real hint for you for where they're going, and you can go on that gig too. It's not a loss, it's a gain because you're getting up and you're schmoozing with other people. And when someone goes by your desk and they like your table and they like your book, don't let them just start talking about them. How did you get into sci-fi?
Yeah.
What's your interest? And eventually you've established a rapport. Say, do you have a business card? They give you their business card. And that's how you do it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Don't go alone. Have someone they can watch your table while you go around.
I found also being online, I mean, as much as, the internet is like a mixed blessing. There's so much bad on there. But I've met a lot of, I met David through the internet.
Yeah.
And I got, my books got a second chance because after Lachesis decided they were changing their business model, I had 3 books with them, and I had no home for these books.
Mm-hmm.
And
you didn't want to do it online yourself? That's what a lot of
a lot of people they're going online.
Yeah.
But
inexpensive way to do it.
It is. But you have to, then you're paying for editing services, and you never know if you're going to get a good editor or a not so good editor. And I had, my son had more experience in that than I did.
Yeah.
But I was talking to David, and I said, "Look, do you want to take a look at them?" Mm-hmm. He said, "Yeah, send me one." And he liked it, and he said, "Send me the other one." He said he liked them both. So I was lucky. I got a reprieve. I got a breath of fresh air. I got a second chance.
Yeah.
And what I noticed, I love Lachesis, and I loved Joanna, and I learned a lot. But during the editing process, I found that there was a really good chemistry with me and David. Mm-hmm. David knew what I was doing. He was being a science fiction writer and an amazing science fiction writer in his own right. He could read the scene and says, I like this, I like where you're going, this is really good, but you know what? Maybe if you just tweaked it this way or just changed this sentence. Mm-hmm. Or if he likes something, he's like, this is unbelievable, this is perfect, I can't, so you were reading it, and it wasn't constantly, fix. It was, this is great, this is amazing, mm-hmm. or I like this, but, and it was really, a nice, pleasant experience. Not that it wasn't it was, but I could just tell that David and I, were on the same wavelength.
He's talking about someone who is a publisher.
Yeah, David Lee Summers of Hardest Shore Productions. He is the publisher, but he's also an amazing writer in his own right.
A lot of small publishing companies are popping up. So some of the authors who come to me, a lot more do it online, but some of them are using these little ones, like little publishing companies, and it helps because it helps an author get on the back something that says, okay, that it doesn't have to happen, but that's why I think they do that. At least they have that, so at least they can help them get their number of books, and then they get it to the author. Now it's up to the author to find a way to get out there. That's the biggest thing.
And that's and like I've learned, writing the book. But writing the book is the easy part.
Yeah.
Getting the exposure and getting the attention, that's the hard part.
Sure.
And you don't, and if you don't have like a New York publisher that's going to do it for you, you have to take a lot of that lion's task and make it your own. And so my mission now for the rest of this month in July is to now that my son's captive, is dig into his brain and my brain. Okay, where's the next path? The small comic book stores, the smaller bookstores, and really push my YouTube channel.
You don't forget, a lot of the we've got book cafes popping up.
Yeah.
I send a lot of people to those. Authors expos, again, those are fantastic, and what a way to begin to get it out there.
Yeah.
Just so many places. Yours being sci-fi, there are sci-fi groups. If you go online for that type of thing, and I find sci-fi groups for them, and they can actually be welcome to come and sit down and talk about their book there. What better place to go to? It's amazing.
And I found, something that I was told a while ago, and my son, who makes his living on YouTube, said, if you're going to market online, you can't sell your book. You have to sell you as a person.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be interested in Greg Ballan, the person. So if you have a YouTube channel, this is cold. You can't say, here's my book, I will now read you a passage on a video. You have to be able to talk about something that will captivate and draw people in, and have them like you as a persona. And once they're interested in you as a persona, then, oh, by the way, I have this great book, Armageddon's Son. Check it out. It's available at...
So when authors go places and they give a presentation, then a book signing afterwards, that presentation is so important.
Exactly.
Share a little bit about yourself, then go into your book, how you got into it, what it means to you, and then you go into that. So before we close, one more time, how can they get a hold of your book, Greg?
Hardest Shore Productions online or Amazon.com. And just Google my name under Amazon Books, and all the books I have for sale will come
Are
up.
you going to be back at Hopedale Library anytime soon?
The next event they have, yes.
Good. That's good. Yeah, that's terrific. Because that's when we met you with
Glenn.
Yes, Glenn Ickler.
And by the way, I did finish my first mystery novel.
Yeah.
And it's testing really well.
Good.
So, and I started the outline for the second one. So I'm kind of making a pivot where, getting out of third-person science fiction into first-person mystery.
That's going to be interesting. That's really good.
So I'm really excited about it. It came out well.
And downstairs you can pick up a copy.
Yes.
Downstairs. Thank you for being on it.
Thank you again for having me. It's great as always.
Yeah. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream.